friends, this is the Cryptonian taking a look at Bitcoin. Today is Monday. It's the 7th. It's right around 1 p.m. taking a look at Bitcoin and the market. The market really is sensitive to Bitcoin's move down here recently in the past few hours this morning. 1 inch down almost 3%, Aave down almost 4%. You can see here that the majority of the market in the red, anywhere between 1%, 4%, some even 5%. So that is a concern for the altcoins. So what about Bitcoin? What about Bitcoin? Well, remember we do have the year over year inflation results coming out this week. Inflation rate year over year on August 10th. I believe that's Thursday. 8:30 a.m. The forecast is slightly higher. Core inflation rate year over year, it's forecasted to be unchanged. Then after that, we've got the PPI month over month. It's forecasted to slightly go higher. So here on the daily, let's take a look at our price action here. Price action is showing that we're seeing a small reaction in this area. We have seen some wicks being left behind here on these daily candles. So whenever we come down to the 28,664, 28,050, we do see that there is some buying interest at this yellow line that I've put in place as support. But we need to remember that we're still under the 50 moving average, and we're very close to this rising support line. This is part of that ascending channel, ascending triangle formation. We're right above the 0.5 Fibonacci. 0.5 Fibonacci is coming in at 28,300. So that is significant. And I've said this before. I said you're going to see some volatility in this area. Probably we'll see some buying coming in. Will it be enough? Will it be enough to hold Bitcoin above 28,664 so that it can push higher? In reality, when we take a look at prior price action, we had a high here and a big sell down, and then another high here. We did make a higher high, but barely. This impulse was weak in comparison to historical price action, and now we're right back down where we were before. Question is, are we moving higher from here? That's the big question at this point. And I think that number one, we have a confluence of factors. We have this month is August. August is usually a weak month. A weak month. Not much happens in August. So that being said, there is a real risk that we could be going lower here. Now on the 4-hour, we do see some buying interest taking place here. Let's move this up. Let me bring this back a little bit, get my chart situated. There we go. So preliminarily, we can see for now that we do have some purchasing in this area. We are developing a hammer, and this is a bullish sign. Now we did have a hammer just recently in this area as well. So, and then from that point we moved higher, and we actually went as high as 30,000 right here. 30,000 off of that rally. This shows that there were some people buying here, seriously buying this area. We could see the same thing here. If this hammer candle closes in 3 hours the same way, then we could see another rally to the upside. But the question is this, will this be just another lower high? Because that's what this last pump to the upside was. It was a lower high, and then price just faded from there and went lower. So although in this area we could see some kind of a reaction to the upside, some kind of a move to the upside, it could just be another lower high and we could roll over again and be right back putting more pressure on this area, on this 28,664. Now we do have expansion on the 4 hour. This expansion does look like it will be to the let's see, to the upside. We did have an expansion to the upside in this previous hammer candle, followed by this impulse to the upside. That being said, excuse me for the phone call there. That being said, this could be the same scenario. We could have a rally, a pump off of the level here, off of this level where we are now, and just put in a lower high and be rejected. Or we could have a breakout. Now that's the bullish scenario. The bullish scenario is, let's go back to the daily here. The bullish scenario is, see all of these wicks? All of these wicks here are showing buying taking place. So the bullish scenario is this could turn out to be a bull flag area, having this go like this. The bull flag scenario would be like this, right? And then this being a bull flag, we could see buying come in, and then eventually over the next few days, even after maybe the inflation data comes out, a pump higher like so, holding this trend line and even higher like so. And we could even have a breakout. We could even actually go higher up into the 33, 34, 35,000 area. If we have a breakout and we test the upper level of this channel that we're in, we could even have a breakout. The breakout would occur 31,840. We'd have to get above that level, 31,840, and then we could actually hit, when we had the breakout, we'd go up 33.8 or 34,000. That's a very possible scenario. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Again, we're in a environment, macro environment, that is not the best. We have, gas prices still high and economic factors that are still weighing on consumers. And we still have the timing in the market. It's August. Not a great time for the market. Historically, August has been a very poor performing month. Couple of scenarios. Bullish scenario is we break out. We hit that 33,800, almost 34, maybe even 35 level. The not so bullish, but the neutral scenario is we break out, but we don't get past this yellow line of resistance, 31,875, and then we come right back down to this area, and then we start doing this, right? Some kind of sideways consolidation. and that would be consolidation right under the 200 moving average here. It would pull it right up below the price action. And then, of course, we do have the bearish scenario, right? The bearish scenario cannot be understated. It cannot be ignored. Bearish scenario is we move higher, but then we get, and maybe even break out a little bit, but we put in a lower high, come right back down, put pressure on this 28,664. It breaks, and then we fall into the golden pocket, see maybe a little bit of a struggle or a bounce, come back, test that 200. By that time, the 200 would be around here, and then just lose it and come down to the level down here, which is 25,238. So it's very possible that if we break this 28,664, we could come down and test the 200, which is 27,100, which is right in this area of this volume node. I've talked about this volume node before. As long as we're above it, we have support. But if we break that, and literally there's a fib in between that and in the middle of that area, 27,500 right here. If we lose 27,500, we're going to test the 200 moving average at 27,100. If we lose that, then we're in trouble. We'll go straight, probably straight down to 25,253. 25,253 is where we have that price support. And at that time, we would have to go sideways like this, right? We'd have to see some type of a move higher here and go sideways in this area. If not, then we'll be seeing probably, let's see, next leg down from there would be this node of volume here, 23,000. Probably 21,500 to 20,200. That would be the area. So these are the kind of scenarios, price points that we need to be aware of. This could turn bearish, although let's be clear, it's not bearish right now. It's actually very bullish as far as structure goes. But there is pressure being applied to the structure right now. RSI, we're at 40, so not real weak, but we're definitely weak. We're under the 0.5, the 50 RSI, so we're weak, but not extremely weak yet. EMA trend is bearish. We see that here. This is on the daily now, guys. We're in a red correction cloud. DMA bearish. So we had the S1 early signal up here just some days ago, a little bit over a week ago. We had the S2 confirmation of the downtrend, and I talked about that. Expansion, contraction, we're in contraction. There is no reversal yet, no expansion yet. So we're weak. We're under the daily pivot. 29,100 is the pivot. We're under that. The only good thing about this is that we are in a low volatility zone. We're below 5, which is ridiculously low. So, and this is what I said before, I don't consider this a breakdown. I consider this a consolidation corrective move for Bitcoin. There is no real sell-off yet. We're still above the volume node here. If we drop below that volume node, that's going to spell some concern, because potentially those people could start selling, and you could see some downward pressure, especially if there's a lot of leveraged positions. So we just need to pay attention. This week is a critical week for Bitcoin and the market. We have to wait and see how the inflation data will affect Bitcoin's price action. And we have to see how the NASDAQ will behave. Taking a look at the NASDAQ, we see the NASDAQ is looking like it wants to roll over here. Okay? S1, early signal, bearish, early sign that we could be going into some type of a correction here. And the NASDAQ and the NASDAQ and Bitcoin are both correlated. I've shown that before, closely correlated. So as the NASDAQ rolls over, here, we could see weakness in Bitcoin. Bitcoin could follow it. The NASDAQ is the RSI 49 just crossed into a weak state. EMA trend bullish still, but that will change as soon as we go a little bit lower here. That would bring an S2 signal, and that would be a confirmation of a correction. We're in contraction, in reversal, so we're not expecting any real big moves to the upside. We're below the daily pivot point. Volatility is low here too, but that's just because this is just starting to roll over. So when things start to roll over, they come back into the move, into the trend. You'll see a really low volatility state, and then as it comes down, it'll expand, and that volatility will go higher as you go into your correction, right? So we need to be aware that this could be affecting the market, right? So like I said, here in the short term, we are seeing some some buying coming in for Bitcoin. Markets are correcting with Bitcoin. Altcoins more volatile. Today's the 7th. We have 3 more days until we get economic data. So I'm thinking that we're really just going to grind out this area for the next few days. We're going to grind out this area up until we receive the economic data on Thursday. I don't think it's going to be a real big deal either way. I don't think we're going to have a major breakdown. I don't think we're going to have a major breakout until we see the economic data this Thursday and the market reacts to that. I would say right now we're probably more bearish than bullish. We're probably more likely to see additional downside than we are to see upside. But we are at a place where there's some support. We have the 0.5 Fibonacci level here, 0.6 Fibonacci level here. This is the golden pocket, and that coincides with all of this volume that has been traded in the past. So this is a technically strong level, but looking at the big picture, we do see that the 200 is starting to roll over here. NASDAQ rolling over. It's August. August is a flat, typically boring, inactive month. So we could see some volatility in this area, but we could still see a grinding out of this area, a decline, and we may not see this area resolve itself until going into October, November, Q4. This could continue to just grind down like this in a very uneventful way until we hit the end of the year. Okay, So these are some of the scenarios we need to be aware of. Bullish scenario, break to the upside, nice and strong. Neutral scenario, we could just kind of grind out this area in a very boring sideways action. Bearish, we could start losing these levels and start coming down, right? Pivotal week, very important week, very important week. As of right now, we're seeing buying in this area. So thank you, friends. Take care. I appreciate your viewership. Please click like. Please subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.